Recapping again, after watching the tape last week, a lot of good things, really in all three phases. Felt like a lot of guys stepped up, played really well. Again, it's been a tough place to play at, and we handled business that way. I thought, again, that driving into the first half and then starting the second half, separating it. And so that was awesome. And then we got back. Decent kickoff time last week, so we got back in time, and so we went all eyes moving forward, looking forward again to getting back at home, playing in Research Stadium. Obviously, a game that brings a lot of emotion and passion, and we're going to need it. Counting on Beaver Nation again, which they always have, shown up in big games at our place, and obviously this one's a big one again. Got respect for this program. Regards to, it's good players, good schemes, playing well, playing hard, can score a bunch of points, but they've been playing pretty well on defense the last couple of weeks, especially the other night. And so we know it'll be a big-time challenge. And it is senior day, so celebrating a large group of guys that have been here a long time, done some special things around here, and so it'll be great to recognize those guys before the game.
Okay, well, I might as well start with the injury stuff first. Did you mentioned the other day that you thought there's a chance all these guys could come back? Where does that stand now?
Similar. Again, we're going to see how this week of practice goes, but I think a lot of guys will be really close. Malik Kelly will be done. That injury he suffered at the end of the game will keep him out the rest of the season, which was tough. But yeah, currently we'll see how these guys look at the end of the week, but counting on a few of them getting back for sure.
Are they all able to practice at this point?
I mean, the guys are a little bit different. Chance Nolan, no, but Fenwick, we're going to see if he can get a little rep this week. Same thing on Jam. Jam did get hurt a little bit more in the game, but we'll see how he feels at the end of the week. Same as Gould. He's going to try to push through, and we'll see at the end of the week. Optimistic on Bloomfield. Morano, same way. Morano wasn't a football injury. The guy was just sick. Coletto, same way. He's moving around. Pretty confident on him. Alex, the same thing. We'll see how he sees. Jaden Grant into the week. Yeah.
So Ben's now started 6 games, and I mean, it just seems like he's getting a little better every week. He's real comfortable in the offense. At this point, is he your starter the rest of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, where it's gone and Chance's inability to totally get healthy and back. Ben has played solid, and so, yeah, I would be surprised if he doesn't start the next 2 games.
But even more than that, the fact that he's kind of taken the reins of this offense, even if he was able to get cleared and practice, at this point, is that kind of messing things up a little bit if you're taking a guy out that's kind of got a little bit of a hot hand?
Yeah, we'll see. Yes, I mean, the guy has played, and we've won some games with him. He's gotten better each week. I do think competition is healthy, and so whenever Chance gets healthy again, or next year even, Ben's going to have to compete and improve.
Well, yeah, sure. I would hope so.
Yeah.
The senior class you've taken out, you've had 5 of them now.
Yeah.
Does this one feel like they all have different meanings, but does this one feel like it's the most meaningful, just given the progress of your program and the things some of these guys have really meant to what you guys have done?
I think it is meaningful, no question. I feel like it's grown each year because you've just known these guys longer, knowing their stories, what they put into the program. The program is in a way better place. So it's really meaningful. And again, I can't list all of them, right, but I just think about some of these guys, Jaden Grant, Brandon Kipper, that have done, some really special things and worked at it, great teammates, so it's very meaningful.
And then this name hasn't come up for quite a while, but Luke Musgrave he's not coming back, is he?
No.
He's bowl game, he's done.
We haven't, no, I doubt it, but he's not playing this week.
Looking at Oregon and what it's done all year, the one thing that stands out the most, I think, is protecting the pocket. Just what kind of challenge does that present when you're going up against an offensive line like that and a quarterback that, when he's healthy, is about as mobile as he can?
Good O-line. And again, protection's 11-man football. The quarterback, his ability to get the ball out on time, know where he's going, know when he's getting blitzed, his athleticism throughout the year, extending plays. They're on the same page at receiver, so there's no question that O-line's good. But that offense in general has done a great job of sack avoidance.
And with regard to the game, the meaningfulness, I know in years past you've talked about how much you've emphasized to the guys in the locker room how much this game means to not only people inside the program, but to the state as a whole? How much are you kind of emphasizing that again this year?
Yeah, these guys are aware that, this game means something. What you don't want to overemphasize is how much it means, and then we get out of our rhythm and our process. And what we've done throughout the week and preparing has worked well for us. We're not here to change that, and we don't change that. We got a chance to play well on Saturday.
So, Coach, you played in this rivalry for 4 years as a player, and now you've been the coach here for 5 years. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that you, in your years as a player, were 2-2 in this game. They took 2, you took 2, and you won at home, they won at home. So how much does your experience as a player just add to that kind of neck-and-neck feeling? And I guess how much more emotion do you have? And do you let your team know about that? And has that impacted practice and preparing for this game, just your personal?
Right. A lot there. There's no question when you're a player, playing in rivalry games are fun. The passion, already spoke to that a little bit. You're right on, 2-2. Home games, so there's some great memories there and some painful ones in the game. These guys understand that, again, it goes back to your approach, and you want to play in college football in rivalry games, and we got an opportunity to do it this weekend. And I go back to this player-led, the maturity we've got on this team. I think their approach will be really solid, and we're going to have to play well to get a chance to win.
Yeah. And this Oregon team, they've been putting up a lot of points this season. I believe in 9 maybe straight games they put up over 40 points. Has your approach been any different, or will it be this week forward, needing to prepare to put up most likely over 40 points in order to win?
I think each week your opponent is different, so their strengths and what they've been able to do, you strategize and put plans together to counteract that. They're explosive on offense. We know we're not going to win this game 3-0, or going into it, we don't think so. But then you get in these games, and each game is a little bit different. And so we're going to have to play well in all 3 phases. These guys can score in bunches, but they're playing really good defense. They shut down a really good Utah offense last weekend. Got some skill and talent on the special teams end. So they're a complete football team that, we're going to have to play well.
Thank you.
Just curious, your experience over the years in these rivalry games with players, the spectrum. Some of them, they're not real. It's a game. They're not super passionate about Oregon or whoever it might be, the rival. And then you got the other spectrum where there's just red hot hate for the other team. With those guys, do you ever have to get them to dial it back a little bit to focus, or does that make their focus even more when those type of players?
Yeah, I think you address the whole team, but you're aware of guys that get emotional in the game. I mean, the ultimate goal of the thing is to win it. And so what's going to give you the best chance to win it is controlling your emotions, understanding that there's going to be pageantry and energy, and we got to play with that, but it's got to be under control. You think about pre and post snap type thing, and it ultimately still comes down to doing your job, your responsibility, and that'll give you the best chance to win. So that's what we emphasize.
Will you have any former players talk at all this
week? We don't have that lined up yet. So I don't know.
Is that something you typically do, or is it?
We've done it some. I don't think we've done it every year. I've been at different places. You do some, and some places don't. I think there's some value. But I go back. This maturity of this team, these guys understand that this is a football game that we want to win, and if you're going to do that, you got to prepare well.
You're no DeAndros. The offensive line Saturday.
Yeah.
How'd you feel like they played, given, you had a new start at left guard,
Yep.
Tolley was a little banged up. I mean, they did what they had to do. How did you feel like they graded out?
Yep, I thought,
video?
Yep, Tolley did play well for not practicing a lot leading into it. Tanner Miller got in there first start, had a couple plays that showed that it was his first start, but he battled through it, did some good things. In the run game in general for the whole group, pretty solid. Pass pro, there were some edges there. I think Ben, got hit a little bit more than we would have liked. So overall, solid in the run game, some things to clean up in the pass game.
When you look at this Oregon team with Dan Lanning, is there something you're seeing from the way he's put this team together that looks a little different than Duck teams you've faced in recent years?
There's some similarities. These guys are sound schematically. They've got good athletes. They're getting great quarterback play. That's been similar in years. I think each coach kind of puts their personality into it. I think, their fourth down aggression might be a little bit different this year than in the past. The guy's willing to take chances. I mean, he beats UCLA, I think, on the decision to onside on the kickoff, and so he's chasing down wins, man.
So you said you didn't want to focus at all on Oregon until your plane landed back here, but now you are back here, so the full focus is on Oregon. How much have you seen just the attitude in practice, even this morning, change now that the full focus is on Oregon? Is the attitude different this week and more intense than it's been in any other week?
I haven't noticed a drastic one. Again, we got together yesterday, digested just like we would the previous game. These guys understand it. I've seen a bunch of them around the building. Watching tape, which I've seen really each Monday, so it hadn't been dramatically. We'll see what practice looks like the next few days, but I'm anticipating these guys will be locked in and putting in their work like they normally have.
And then just having the best year that this team has had in a decade, how much would it mean just in general to add this one win to this incredible year you've already been having?
Yeah, it would mean a ton. I mean, going from 8 to 9 would mean a ton, and we're definitely going to try to do that. Again, we're locked into this approach weekly, and then we'll have time to digest it after the year, wherever the chips fall.
I apologize if you already have been asked this. Do you worry about senior day and all of that pageantry and the emotion prior to a big game?
It can, because it is emotional for those guys to run out the last time, names announced, families there, especially early in the game. There's a lot going on. I mean, I experienced it each year. You experience it for that group. So, it is what it is. I think it's an important part of college football. But those guys will quickly lock in, but you think about the first few snaps of the game.
And I think I know the answer to this, but how much this year or any year do you think outside of your week and your opponent? In other words, do you watch other happenings, keep up to date on storylines with all the other Pac-12 teams?
Right. I glance at the other Pac-12 games on Sunday a little bit. So we're aware week in and week out kind of storylines of what's going on out there. And I go really the schematics, like, oh, these guys scored a bunch of points. Let's watch that tape, see what they did. So nothing out of the normal this week.
Coach Ben Gulbranson's running ability. Tell me a little bit about what you saw, the decision-making and just the physical plays he made.
Yeah, I thought he played with effort, extended the play. A couple times he didn't like what he saw, so he took off, gained a couple first downs. It was a huge run on third down to go get it. And so that's why sometimes it's hard for you to recognize quarterbacks playing with great effort. But he wasn't going down lightly, extended it, moved the pocket, threw it a couple of times, so really was pleased with that.
The togetherness of the team seemed to show late when guys like Malik Kelly, Kanoa Shannon, Micaiah makes a catch, blew a guy up on a special teams play.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things seem to fire everybody up.
It was fun. You're right on with our culture, guys celebrating each other. I mean, Jeremiah Noga gets in there, he gets a couple of catches. Guys were really happy with that. And so it's fun. You get opportunities for guys, and they make plays, they celebrate.
Had one more about Ben. Not asking you to compare him to Chance or any of these other quarterbacks, but just it looks to me like he's really become pretty good at checking in other plays, figuring out what's going to work. Have you noticed, has that been a strength of his to get you guys into the right play? Because it does seem like he's really working it out there.
Yeah, his command each week has gotten better and better because it's not only just knowing the play you want to get to, it's communicating it, make sure it gets digested before you're snapping the thing, awareness of the formation, motion going across. He's steady Eddie, man. He really has been, and we all need him to do it again Saturday.
With the kicking game, it was a rough game this weekend again, 1 for 3, and now season long. At 30 yards or further out, you're 3 of 10 on the year. At this point, just realistically, how much confidence do you have or can you have in that element of your game?
Yeah, it's something we're definitely working at. I will say, even this last week, the wind, the direction we were going on our first one we attempted was not an easy kick. It was blowing pretty good. But we got to be able to bang through field goals when we get the opportunity. And so these guys are going to work at it this week, and we're going to need, some balls to go through the uprights. Thanks.